Information and more smoking gun evidence about special counsel Robert Mueller's corrupt and extremely biased team of liberal political crusaders that have one singular mission, and that is to destroy your elected president, Donald Trump, and unseat the commander-in-chief. Now, they're trying to create a constitutional crisis that will threaten the rule of law in this country. So tonight, right here, we have new and more smoking gun evidence that Mueller's hand-picked minions are a bunch of Trump-hating, Hillary-loving partisan hacks that are carrying out what I describe as a witch hunt. In an email released by Judicial Watch, Mueller's top attack dog, Andrew Weissman, told former acting Attorney General Sally Yates he was so proud of her. This after Yates defied a direct order from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and refused to defend his travel ban back in January. Now, this comes as we are learning more information about Peter Strzok. He's the former FBI counterintelligence official we were telling you about last night that was fired from the Russia investigation for sending those anti-Trump, pro-Clinton text messages. Tonight, Fox News has learned that the Department of Justice is in the process of now turning over Strzok's text messages to the House Intelligence Committee. Now, it is expected to happen in coming days. Now, Strzok is a key player, and he is tied to several of the high-profile cases we've been covering, including the Russian probe. That means Clinton's emails, the anti-Trump dossier, the Pfizer surveillance of a Trump campaign associate. Now, tonight, what we're going to do, we will peel back the layers of this very complex onion. We will expose, it will be easy to see just how crooked and corrupt Mueller and his appointed team really are. Their conduct is something you'd expect in a banana republic, not the United States of America. There is so much fake news and misinformation in the news outlets today. We'll do what we always do. We're going to set the record straight. We'll get to the truth. And tonight we'll explain and we will diagram all of these controversies and the corruption surrounding Mueller's team. Something you'll only see right here on Hannity. And also tonight, the liberal media is spreading even more fake news about President Trump, reporting that the special counsel issued a subpoena to Deutsche Bank for information about bank accounts held by the president and his family. Well, tonight, the president's lawyer is pushing back and saying those reports are flat out false. And Robert Mueller's witch hunt comes at a significant cost to all of us and you, the American people. The tab right now is nearing $7 million and counting. We'll cover all of that and much more in tonight's Breaking News Opening Monologue. All right, tonight, just like we did with Hillary Clinton's giant web of corruption, we are going to actually show you with charts just how corrupt, abusively biased, and political special counsel Robert Mueller and his team of so-called investigators really are. This is, on the surface, complicated. Stay with us tonight. We're going to set the stage. We will explain and break down everything for you. Let's start with the head of the snake. That would be the special counsel, Robert Mueller. Mueller's credibility is in the gutter tonight with these new discoveries. His conflicts of interest, his clear bias, the corruption are on full display. Mueller is frankly a disgrace to the American justice system and has put the country now on the brink of becoming a banana republic. Here's why. Robert Mueller, former FBI director under Bush and Obama, was first appointed as a special counsel to the Russia probe by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Rosenstein, longtime federal attorney, was only able to appoint Mueller because the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, you remember, recused himself from the Russia investigation. That was a huge mistake. By the way, he may want to unrecuse himself. Now, you might remember this came after Sessions and Rosenstein encouraged President Trump to fire then FBI Director James Comey over his inappropriate actions in the 2016 Clinton email investigation. Well, as it turns out, James Comey, guess what? He's very good friends with Robert Mueller. After years of working in similar roles, well, some have even described the duo as, quote, brothers in arms. Isn't that so cute? Now, Comey also tweeting tonight he is meeting with his book publisher. Oh, I can't wait for that to come out. When's he going to start working for fake news CNN or conspiracy theory TV MSNBC? We'll have more on that later. But back to Mueller. His conflicts of interest do not end here. While serving as the FBI director in the Obama administration, Mueller stood by and did nothing while the controversial sale of uranium was approved by Hillary Clinton and others in 2010 to that state-owned Russian energy company. Now, keep in mind, a year and a half before, the FBI FBI had serious evidence of Russian bribery linked to the Uranium One sale, and a confidential informant was providing them further proof for 6 years of a potentially illicit deal. 20% of America's uranium was at stake. We don't have enough uranium. Another important Mueller conflict. It stems from President Trump. Remember, he reportedly interviewed Mueller to be Comey's replacement as the head of the FBI? And ultimately, President Trump, he went in another direction. He gave the job to Christopher Wray. And finally, one of the biggest examples of Mueller's faulty, clouded, biased, abusively biased judgment is who he chose to staff the Russian probe. Now get this, at least 8 of the 16 lawyers that Mueller appointed to his team donated to Democrats like Obama and Clinton, including thousands of dollars to these campaigns. Not a single attorney Mueller appointed or hired donated to the Trump campaign or any other Republican presidential campaign. Which brings us to our next chart, where we expose members of Mueller's team from their clear political bias. One of Mueller's top lieutenants, who some have called a legal pit bull, is none other than Andrew Weissmann. We'll have more on him later in this monologue and show, but first, it's important to point out Weissmann gave $4,300 in political donations to Democrats, including Obama. And as you can see, we filled out the chart. All told, Mueller's corrupt band of Clinton lovers, they have been responsible for over $50,000 in donations to Democrats. We're really supposed to believe that they're fair and they're unbiased in this investigation? Next up, former top FBI counterintelligence official Peter Strzok. As we're about to show you, as we told you about last night, his tentacles touch just about everything. Now, there's more stunning new information about Strzok tonight. We'll get to that in a second. But first, let's lay the foundation. According to a report, this was yesterday, Strzok is a member of Mueller's special counsel team that signed the document that officially started the entire Russian investigation witch hunt. We learned yesterday this Trump-hating, Clinton-loving agent oversaw the FBI interviews of our former national security advisor, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, where he supposedly lied. Sarah Carter, who'll join us in a little bit, is reporting that Strzok personally interrogated Flynn himself. And Fox News also learned that it was Strzok that was fired by Mueller over the summer for sending the anti-Trump, pro-Clinton text messages to his FBI lawyer girlfriend. Well, we just discovered tonight that Strzok's girlfriend, Lisa Page, also was on Mueller's team before leaving. We didn't know that yesterday. And from there, it gets even more shocking, as our own Catherine Herridge is reporting. Strzok played a very key role in the Clinton email server investigation. Now, this politicized FBI official even participated in the July 2nd, 2016 interview of then former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, where conveniently she was not put under oath. Now, this part is brand new tonight. Strzok was also present at FBI interviews of Clinton's top aides, Uma Abedin, Cheryl Mills, where they claimed they only knew about the server after Clinton left the State Department and it became public. He loves the Clintons and everybody around them. And it turns out emails from 2010 and 11 show that both Abedin and Mills did in fact know about the server. So either they misled the FBI or flat out lied. Where are the charges against them? And why were they spared? And Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, why was he charged with lying to the FBI? A massive double standard. And it gets worse from there. Fox News has confirmed that Strzok changed the language. He was the guy in James Comey's draft memo exonerating Hillary Clinton from grossly negligent behavior to extreme carelessness. That's letting Hillary Clinton off the hook. Remember, they wrote the exoneration before the investigation. That means the fix was in. Gross negligence is part of the legal standard that would mean Clinton broke the law. They stood up for her. They defended her. They protected her. This is shocking, and this is why the Office of Inspector General is now reviewing Peter Strzok's role in the Clinton email server investigation. Now, Strzok's involvement extends to other key areas of this Russian probe. Keep up with me here. There's a lot of information, like the anti-Trump, fake news, Russian propaganda dossier that used current and former Russian government sources to try and smear then-candidate Trump with salacious lies and influence the election and mislead you, the American people. And a source is now revealing to Fox News that Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, he's the key witness that Congress wants to talk to about the anti-Trump dossier. McCabe was scheduled to appear before Congress Thursday, but now is saying he's not going to show up. Now, McCabe is also thought to have been the key point of contact to the former British spy, Christopher Steele. He's the guy that created the fake news anti-Trump dossier that was bought and paid for by Hillary Clinton and the DNC that Donna Brazile says she was running. And we can't forget, according to multiple reports, a political action committee with ties to key Clinton ally, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. They're like best friends. Well, they gave $500,000 to Andrew McCabe's wife, Jill. She was running for the Virginia state Senate race. Now, Virginia's Democratic Party also contributed over $200,000 to Jill McCabe. Wow, the connections are stunning. And finally, House investigators, they believe that Strzok is the key figure in the Pfizer surveillance of a Trump associate on the campaign. Now, that makes a lot of sense given FBI agents' background in counterintelligence. And also tonight, and finally tonight, there's Robert Mueller's top deputy. Pay close attention. This particular minion is known as Mueller's legal pit bull. We're talking about the hard-charging prosecutor, Andrew Weissmann. He has a long history of using highly questionable, unethical tactics to get convictions. There's new information tonight, and it highlights Weissmann's rampant anti-Trump bias. We'll get to that in a second. Before we do, you've got to understand who is Andrew Weissmann. Now, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett has dug deep into Weissmann's background. Here's what he has found. Back in 2000, during the massive Enron scandal, Weissmann was one of the prosecutors on the task force that brought a very controversial obstruction of justice case against the giant accounting firm, Arthur Andersen. This is important. Weissmann's actions put that company out of business. Tens of thousands of people lost their jobs. In 2005, the United States Supreme Court overturned Weissmann's obstruction of justice conviction in a unanimous 9-0, nearly unprecedented ruling. But it was too late. He had already inflicted maximum damage to so many people. Arthur Andersen was not the only victim of Weissmann's aggressive tactics. The conviction of a business transaction between Enron and the financial firm Merrill Lynch, well, that sent people to jail. But guess what? They were innocent. That decision was reversed by the Fifth Circuit, U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Weissmann has also been accused of intimidating witnesses, making up crimes that don't exist, and in one case, withholding evidence that was exculpatory, that helped the defendant. And Weissmann is also tied to that corrupt Uranium One deal and the Obama administration cover-up. Why did Mueller ever appoint this guy? He knew his track record. And back then, Weissmann was in charge of the DOJ's fraud section during the Russian bribery scheme. And as Greg Jarrett points out, Weissmann actually signed the bottom of the plea agreement from the Russian businessman involved in that case. Now, here's the new explosive information we have tonight. In an email released after a FOIA request by Judicial Watch, Weissmann, the guy I'm telling you about, he told the former acting Attorney General, Sally Yates, an Obama appointee, he was proud of her. What was he so proud of? Yates denied a direct order from the president. Her boss refused to defend the legal, constitutional travel ban back in January. Weissmann's email reads, quote, "I am so proud. I am in awe. Thank you so much. All my deepest respects." Pretty unbelievable. Shows where his political bias is. Also tonight.